Welcome to the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode number 66. Thank you for either watching or listening. I am going to be your host for today, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. I am joined today by one half of the JD and Mark podcast, or was it Mark and JD podcast?
Mark and JD, get it right.
Yeah, Mark and JD podcast. One half of that. Mark himself, Mr. Madness. How you doing?
That's me. All good, man. 20 days to Christmas, you know.
That's right. And then from the Teaching Culture cast, we got Mr. Matthew Bliss back with us.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good shout out. I don't think I've mentioned that teaching podcast on this podcast yet. Also, intro going at a blistering pace today. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's only three of us, so there's plenty to talk about. So a lot of room to get in, and just definitely want to shout out any other podcasts you guys are on. So with that being said, for today's show, we pretty much are going to be doing some last minute game award predictions. A Forza Horizon 5 player gets banned for all of eternity, it sounds like, and we're also going to talk about PlayStation's response to Xbox Games Pass. But before we get into everything, how we all doing today? How's y'all's week been?
Yeah, can't complain. It's
it's not as boring. I played lawn mowing simulator, and let me just tell you, if you need to fall asleep, that is the game to play, because I fell asleep twice while playing it.
Oh wow.
What time were you playing it though?
Like in the afternoon. Like over my lunch break. I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. I got enough time to mow one lawn, because it takes like real time. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm falling asleep.
Well, I gave it a go too, to be honest, because it did pop up on Game Pass. That's probably why you picked it up as well. And it's just, it didn't hit right for me either. I don't know. I mean,
maybe I'm not a simulator guy. I don't know.
Well, I tried Power Wash Simulator. I talked about that infinitely on this podcast about being one of the best games ever. But this one, just the catharsis wasn't there for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but mowing lawns.
Just think about it. Like if you mowed a lawn or you power wash, power washing is just more satisfying even in real life.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, we'll get into more of what we're playing later on throughout the podcast. So just a friendly reminder, folks, that the Game & Watch podcast is an R-Review gaming production. Follow us on all our streaming platforms, Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, etc. And we are also available on just about every listening platform you can think of, from iHeartRadio to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you name it, we're on there. And we also do have a website coming soon. So if you do want to watch us or listen to us, we will have the website. It's going to be coming hopefully late this year or early next year. Matt and I are going to be working on that. So fingers crossed on when it's coming. And if you have any questions, send us any comments, questions, anything, gameandwatchpodcast@gmail.com. If you email the show, we will read your email on air. If you have a question or whatever, we will do our best to answer it. So that
all things permitting, of course, we will answer the ones that are perhaps inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you can send the inappropriate ones over to me, or I'll answer them on my podcast. I have no limits.
No limits there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. One of us ought to go on your podcast one of these days if the invite's ever out there.
Yeah, I can make it work.
Yeah.
Way to do the request on live. You're not going to get turned down then.
Yeah. Get finance to go on there. So yeah. All right. So let's jump into our first topic today. Black Friday. What was the best console sold? Was it the PS5? No. Was it the Nintendo Switch? No. Believe it or not, the best console sold on Black Friday was the Xbox Series S. Not X, but S. But, same family. And it appears that, just, only $300. And I was a little shocked about it at first. I mean, I just thought, no one wants this damn thing because I sent a photo to you guys in the Discord. I was at Target, just walking around. I wasn't going to buy it, but if I really wanted one, I could have had one. No fights or anything in line. I mean, it is an Xbox Series S though, so I mean, you can't buy physical games for it. But does this surprise you that this is the best-selling console during Black Friday this year?
It's a combination of two things, I think. Probably, I'm not surprised, but also it's probably the easiest to find.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to find because, like I said, I personally think no one wants it. Like,
people do want it, but there's no flippers market for it. Nobody's gonna pay that much for it when if they really wanted to just wait, they'd get a Series X. I think it limits how much profit can be made for those, and you can actually find a Series S in store. A lot of stores had them.
Yeah, a lot of stores do have them. Like Target had it. And like I said, I was walking right by. I took a photo. I'm like, if I really wanted this right now, I could. Was I tempted to buy it? Maybe a little. Would I buy it? I think if I did buy it, I think with this new gaming rig I got, I think my wife would have killed me if I bought it. So yeah, that wasn't happening. But well, I mean, what do you think, Matt?
Exactly that. It was the availability that did the thing. People. It wouldn't just have been the people who wanted to buy the new gaming console. Would have also been the people who were looking to buy early Christmas presents, and those non-discerning individuals are going to look at a game console that's available to buy and just pick it up. Like availability, also, that's going to be the biggest thing.
A reminder for anybody buying consoles as a present, open it beforehand and download all the updates.
Yep.
There are a lot for the Xbox so far. There have been a lot. It will take a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I was tempted to do it, but right now, I mean, I did.
Let me ask you, Tutal, do you have an Xbox One?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that, and yeah, I reactivated my Game Pass for it. I'll get into that, a little later on what we're playing, but I reactivated it. But yeah, I have a 1S, and right now, it gets the job done for right now. So,
well, I only bring it up because GameStop will actually give you a decent amount of change for it if you wanted to just upgrade. But I get it; it's all digital, so that kind of does. Throw a wrench in it, but if you're just playing it for Game Pass, it's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been thinking about that, but I mean, I know if I wanted a 1S, I could have one. I definitely would have to give up the one. I mean, not a Series S, I could have one, but I would have to give up the 1S for it, and then the physical games I got for it. Because the thing is, it's like, with me and Game Pass, I'm not always on there. I guess I could just do like a month-to-month thing where it's like, all right, I'll pay the $15 this month, and the next month just like, cut it. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, I know I got options out there. I know if I really want a 1S, I could have one, but it doesn't do 4K, which no bummer, no big deal for me. But right now, I mean, I'm good with the 1S. I'm good with what I got. It's right now it's cross-gen, so if I buy a physical copy of one game, it can play on the others. But I would like to get a Series X, but I probably won't get that till like much later down the line. All right, so enough with the Black Friday and the console winner there. But the Nintendo Switch, it does have a new accessory, and it seems like an accessory that nobody asked for. So, I mean, it's like a portable monitor that it's by Orion. Looks like there was an Indiegogo campaign behind it. Looks like it already made its goal, so people actually do want this thing. But I thought the Nintendo Switch was supposed to be like portable. But I also watching the trailer. I was watching the trailer like right before we started the podcast. It seems like you can use it as a digital monitor if you want to connect like another console to it, whether it be a PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox One.
I don't think it's a terrible idea.
I actually like it.
You like it?
I think it's actually a decent idea.
All right,
it's
explain.
doubles the screen. What is it? More than doubles the screen size, right? So the 188% larger screen. It's a more
1080p.
comfortable dock. It does 1080p, which the screen itself doesn't do. You said the portability of it. I end up playing a lot of it in my house because somebody else is using the TV and I can play the Switch on it. So to have a bigger screen when you're doing that would be ideal. In my situation, I realize that's not for everybody.
But there's also there's a big audience that will look at the accessibility of something like this and see it as really useful as well. Like the people who look at that tiny screen and either have to choose between docking it to a bigger screen so that they are able to see the content or not, won't have to choose if they get a product like this. It's going to give them the mobility still, and they'll be able to see all that detail, especially if their vision is a little bit low.
Well, depending
upon and also like anybody, you can plug in a PS5 or an Xbox to it too, and basically have a portable monitor wherever you go. Like I've tried playing games on my phone. You know, it's a 6-inch screen, so it's pretty big. It's not ideal, but in a you know, when you want to play and you got nothing to play on, it'll do. But an 11-inch screen that you can just plug in, that's kind of a game changer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel it's just like very like big. I mean, maybe I'd have to see a little more down the line. I know a lot of YouTubers have been bashing it, but I mean, I think it's just, for me, it's just something that, I didn't ask for. I mean, I don't need the screen for myself to be that big, at least when I'm playing on the Switch. Now, as a portable monitor at, what are they pricing it at, $250 or something? I mean, like
it's $289 US.
All right, $289
but only, I'm sorry, that's actually, they still have some 250 ones available. All right, it's going to be $300 at retail.
$300 at retail. Okay, so it would be tempting. Like I probably would use it if I traveled a lot, but I don't. And like if I am, like I said, like the Switch screen, good enough for me. But like, like with the trailer, like I wouldn't be like playing this thing like in the park or anything like that. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. Just I feel like
I would. I mean, I honestly, I don't care. I don't have no shame. I inherited from my dad an iPad Pro, and I don't know if you ever used an iPad Pro, but it's like a 13-inch screen. It's enormous.
It's just a book.
And it's huge. And I got a case. Like my kid uses it more than I do, so I have like one of them big carry cases for it. And everybody's like, "What is that thing?" When I take it places, like it's an iPad. I have no shame about using it, and it's not. You can set it up. You can have it any which way. It's super customizable, but I can't, plug my Xbox or Switch into that to play. So I'm stuck playing iPad games on it.
And I got to tell you,
really the best.
The one thing that I would object to here is the price point, because there's a massive hobbyist movement at the moment from people who go on AliExpress and some of the more obscure Chinese websites to get screens like this very cheaply, and sometimes in very weird screen orientations. Like you can buy a screen that's like a long LED that looks completely useless. And, I reckon you could buy an 11-inch LED screen, 3D print some mounts for the Joy-Cons, and then just wrap it all together with duct tape. And that'd cost you like $25. So that would be the only thing that puts, that would put this on the back burner for me, I think. The idea that you could build one yourself and it's not going to be too bad. But
yeah, I mean, me personally, I know for me, if I really wanted like a portable monitor, I'll just look for a cheaper one. You can get like a nice sized one, like a 16, 17-inch for like $150 or something on Amazon. I mean, I guess it depends where you go.
Is it just a monitor?
Well,
or does it also have stereo speakers and stuff like that? A lot of them are just monitors.
I think it would be just monitor. So you'd have to, I think many of them do come with the headphone jack, so you can just plug that in. There you go.
Another important thing as well, you mentioned it does 1080. Fortunately, I didn't pick it up from the article, but does it say that it upscales the 720 from the Switch to do that as well?
If it's in dock mode, it's 1080. That's what the Switch does.
It's like it's pretty much like a dock that you plug, like you open the thing up, you put the Switch in there, it pretty much upscales. It's like docks it, I guess you could say.
Right. Well, that would be a good reason to do it too. Yeah, AliExpress stuff can't do that for you.
Yeah, no, not at all. So it seems legit. It's just like for me, it's just a portability thing of it. But I mean, everyone's gonna have their preference.
I brought it up here. If you want to pull it up here, this is basically what it's going to do here. If you add that to this little screen share here, I'm not sure if that'll work, but basically that's what you can do with it. So you got a full monitor, a nice little integration there, HDMI out, USB-C. It's got a lot going with it.
The only thing that looks pretty spot. The only thing that looks shitty on it is the kickstand. I don't think that kickstand is.
Well, I mean, isn't that just what Nintendo is? Like, even the built-in one is kind of lousy.
Well, for the OLED, it looks pretty legit. It looks a little stronger.
Yeah, that is true, but it is heavier. It is much heavier, so it needs a bigger kickstand. I don't think I've ever used the kickstand on the Switch because it is just hot garbage.
No. It would probably break on you, and then it's just like also with the kickstand. I bought the one that they sold separately that you can like hang, that you can put. I bought that one. I hardly ever use it though, but so I mean that's a good one. But anyway, so I mean it's a good campaign. We'll see how it does. I mean, like I said, I don't see myself buying it unless like the price drops. But I mean, I feel like it could make a good portable monitor for like any other game consoles.
We're not talking about other things. People will kickstart a lot of things. You didn't put it on the discussion this week, but there was that controller, the GameCube controller that you shared as well, and that already hit. That hit like $700,000 in funding already. So if you hit a niche, that's what Kickstarter going to let you do. You can find a big enough niche, anything will get pushed these days.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So here we go again with violence and video games. And for the millionth time, there's been no evidence that violent video games leads to like any person doing like aggression or anything. So if you guys have not been keeping up with the news this week, I guess there was another shooting at a school out in Michigan here in the States. So, and of course, politicians, public leaders are looking to blame something yet again. And video games, this has been coming up since like the mid 90s, maybe even sooner, just like violent video games. It gets ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not going to get into what happened in Michigan.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not video games' fault. A,
no,
and B, I used to work at GameStop, so M-rated games. There was a time when we really didn't ID people, and then they started getting more serious about it, and then they wanted us to start IDing people for anything mature rated at all. So it was really a kind of a shift, but also they wanted to make it like there were bills out there. They wanted to make it $1,000 fine the first time you sold an M-rated game to a kid under 17. Damn. And at that time, like I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I get it. Like I already went out of my way to make sure that kids didn't do it because I know the kids really shouldn't be playing Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and things like that. The parents should know. But time and time again, it's just a recurring thing. If it's not heavy metal music, if it's not horror movies, it's video games. It's whatever people think. Instead of actually raising their children, they look for the easiest thing to blame, which in this day and age is video games.
Yeah. It seems like it's kind of shifted away from music because in the 90s, like they'd be blaming like gangster rap and movies and shit like that. Right. And it's just like, I mean, it just pisses me off every time I see like some politician come through and want to put like a stronger stance on video games. It's just like the video game community is very powerful. They will fight back. That's one thing I've learned these days. They will fight back, especially if they feel like something's wrong.
But let's touch wood here. You're talking about the gaming community fighting back, and not aggressively though.
Yeah, not aggressively.
Intent.
No.
I think they're aggressively defending.
Yeah, aggressively defending. Yeah,
and I think the important thing to point out about the reason we're bringing this up again, the article from scipost.org, if you want to check it out, they specifically went in with the idea that perhaps aggression may be a byproduct of video games. And while that isn't necessarily leaving it the possibility to blame it for the violence, that maybe there is a reason that violence comes about as a result of it. And they still found nothing with a longitudinal study of a bunch of
No.
different studies as well.
Right. So
Yeah.
they basically they signed him to play one of two games. They either played Grand Theft Auto 5 or Sims 3. And if you've ever played either, I guarantee you Sims 3 has probably made you more angry than Grand Theft Auto 5 has.
That's it. And I think
more than likely, yeah.
The earliest study that I saw was this is going to be a big throwback, but do you remember Croc Rocks?
Oh, Croc Rocks, yeah.
Croc, like the old 3D platformer game?
Yeah, with all the coins and that little crocodile that does little spins and stuff.
Yes.
They did a lot of tests with that about aggression as well, and no violence related or correlated to that game at all. So, yeah, it's probably going to be the same result every single time.
Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, but the people who generally play those games are mostly adults. Yeah, a couple kids do play them, but
yeah.
But do they blame video games every time there's a terrorist attack? No.
No, not at all.
There's great games where you become brilliant musicians. You don't see people picking up guitars.
Right. Yeah, my mastery of Rock Band has not made me a master drummer, okay?
No.
Grand Theft Auto has not committed any murders, mass shootings, last I checked. I mean, a simple disc or digital game can't do that. It's the
there might be some televisions that have suffered with the controllers embedded after someone gets a little bit annoyed that they can't finish that one little bit.
But yeah, maybe some controllers have gotten hurt, but but I came from a family.
Copter mission in Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, I came from a family where controller throwing was not allowed. Otherwise, I would not be able to play my Super Nintendo or whatever I was playing during that time. So yeah.
Let's be honest, though. There was a 50-50 chance you weren't going to be able to play it either.
Yeah. Throw it. yeah, pretty much. Yeah, definitely. Well,
I always had that third-party controller, like the Mad Catz one, that was like for your friends. You get this piece of crap, and you knew how bad it was, but if you ever broke your regular controller, you'd have to play with that all the time. That was always like, okay, don't break this controller.
Yep, it's a motivator.
This is the best third-party controller right here. 8-bit dough. For those of you who are listening, I'm holding up a controller to the camera. 8-bit dough. Definitely support their products, especially if you love Super Nintendo stuff. But yeah, I just want to.
They've gotten a lot better over time, but they used to be real junky.
Yeah. So some of them
really
were pretty
junky.
Bad. Yeah,
I was going to say maybe potential sponsor for the podcast, but maybe not anymore. We'll have to see.
All right, so looks like we keep hearing about these like handheld consoles that are being introduced to the market, and looks like another one is being introduced. It is called the Qualcomm. They're introducing a Snapdragon G3X. So I believe, that's what it's called.
Well, they have the chip is called that, but Razer is the one making the portable device.
Yeah, so
and that's going to be. I don't think they named it yet.
Yeah, I don't think they named it. Yeah, I thought that was the name, so that's my bad, folks. But the maker is Razer, and looks like it's gonna be coming out sometime in. Looks like they don't even have a street date for it just yet. But I mean, we've been hearing about the Steam Deck coming out, and then a couple other Android-based handheld consoles. So I mean, maybe they're taking their time with announcing what the street date will be, because I mean, from the looks of it, I'm looking at the photo of it. It looks nice. It looks like a nice size screen.
It looks like a Xbox One controller with a screen in the middle of it.
Seems very close to it.
Very close. I mean, it has the buttons, the colors. Yeah, maybe it's a Xbox handheld. I mean, maybe while we're on it, I was reading something like a poll or something this morning. Do you think Xbox will put out a handheld, or do you think they're just gonna?
They've been talking about that for like 20 years since the Xbox came out. I don't think they have any interest in doing that. They failed with Windows Phone. I really don't think they want to fail with a gaming handheld.
No. Well, okay. Yeah. So pretty much.
That's what I think. Yeah.
So they'll pretty much just utilize xCloud if you want to play your Xbox games on the go. So if this is Android based, which it's really looking like according to the specs, we can assume that it will probably be like one of those. Hopefully, it's not one of those like cheap knockoff Android gaming machines, but if it's like the Steam Deck, or maybe a little smaller, but if you can like get your own OS and everything. I'm curious to see what the price will be of this. I mean, seems like a lot of.
Look, I got to stop you there. If it's Android based, then
Uh,
it's not going to have the capacity that the Steam Deck does, because that's a Linux based
hmm,
operating system on that, and that gives it all the compatibility, the ability to have Electron apps, Proton,
hmm,
as a way to emulate games that wouldn't necessarily be suitable on Linux as well. I don't think this one's going to have the same. What we will be looking for, though, is the cloud gaming potential, I think.
yeah,
Like, can it support a Stadia with a solid internet connection? Or could it do the Xbox One, xCloud, that kind of stuff? I think that would be the big sell, I'd say.
Yeah, I would
yeah.
agree. I mean, Razer is kind of getting big now. They've been putting out gaming stuff for a while. I don't know. They bought out. Remember Ouya? Do you remember the Ouya?
Oh,
Yep.
that was garbage.
Right. They 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 bought the software from Ouya, so they owned that. So I guess they kind of been in the works of doing something with that for years. But Android is not really a gaming platform. There just aren't really that many choices out there. I have an Android
Mm-mm.
phone, and it's just there really isn't that much out there that makes me say, "Oh, I get a controller for this," unless they're going to target the cloud-based gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's what they could be doing. I mean, it's interesting to see what they'll do. I mean, well, like you were saying, Matt, with Stadia anyway. Who still uses Stadia? No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's probably more popular these days than it would have been, but that's not to
Yeah,
say that it's doing an amazing job. I
yeah.
mean, you
I
got
mean,
GeForce Now as well as a
mhm,
way, the Nvidia platform to host your games too. It's a flooded market, and I guess
yeah,
they're still waiting to see if it's going to be
When Amazon
popular enough.
has the Luna as well. Don't forget the
yeah.
Luna.
Amazon. Yeah, don't
Is
forget
that still a
Luna.
thing? I
Yeah,
thought they
It's
were
still
still
a
is.
thing.
It's
still
still
a
a
thing.
thing. Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
it's still a thing. Yeah.
It's only been
So
out for like a year.
Yeah, I just never hear anything about it. Like, it never seems to make waves, so I never keep up with it.
I don't really
yeah,
hear
same.
about
I hear
Stadia
about the
that much.
games.
It's
And then, yeah,
true.
Stadia I have not heard about much since what's her name stepped down, and it's just like they pretty much admit that hey, it was a failure. I mean, I wish Google would have come in a little stronger if they were going to get into the console gaming space,
The big
but
one is just GeForce. That's like the biggest.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's more
So
massive because they had that leak of PC games that weren't released yet,
Right.
that
Well,
slowly seem to be coming out over
I
time.
I do believe you can actually play it on an Xbox Series X too.
Woohoo.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
know.
all right, so looks like we have a leak, guys. I know a while back on a podcast, I forget what episode exactly, we were talking about the Matrix. Looks like a product called the Awakens has reportedly leaked ahead of an official reveal. Now, looks like it's an Unreal Engine 5 experience. Do you think this is a announcement that will be announced at the Game Awards? I
Oh,
mean, it's the
absolutely.
Matrix. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's what it's
Only
saying in
because
this
of the simple
article.
fact that it promote the movie, which comes out in a couple weeks. So yeah,
Yeah, you think that's going to be one of the Game Award announcements besides GTA
yeah,
6?
almost definitely. Does Unreal Engine 5 like even officially out?
I
Yeah.
didn't know that was a thing either, but yeah, I guess it is. So yeah, I mean, I
How
know
many
a lot of
games
people are.
use Unreal Engine 5? That's my question.
I know of one. Satisfactory is one that recently upgraded itself from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5. But that's a bit of an obscure one. To be honest, I couldn't name anymore.
Yeah,
No,
I just
yeah.
don't know. But I mean, I'm hyped for a new Matrix game. I did like Enter the Matrix. I didn't play Matrix Online, so if it's gonna be another MMO, I'm all out on that. But in this day and age, I think another Matrix game would work well in the current gaming climate, provided it's done by a quality developer, of course.
Well, it's funny, they did like a proper video game tie-in with Enter the Matrix, didn't they? It's
It
they
had like
had
real
the
scenes and everything.
Yeah, and characters as well. So you kind of found out a little bit about the stories of the people on the sidelines of the films. And maybe they'd look at doing that integration again. It's hard to say.
Then they also had Path of Neo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody forgets about that one. Everybody forgets about that one because it wasn't good.
Yeah, well, that's the only
Path
one
of
that I actually
Neo.
owned. It's weird.
All right. Well, I mean, definitely tune in on December 9th, guys, to the Game Awards. See if a new Matrix game is announced. Maybe we'll actually get a full-on trailer, or we'll just get some Matrix stuff and then just something that says Matrix Awakens. But apparently, it's been leaked, and we are going to be waiting for it. So next
Keanu
thing,
does have a history of showing up at the
yeah,
Game Awards.
All right, okay. So,
but for what game?
Well, he did for Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. So I mean, he does have a history, so he has that going for him. So
yeah.
All right. So one of the big things that coming out of news today for gaming is PlayStation is reportedly going to combine its PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now services to compete with the Xbox Games Pass. So looks like right now all right.
Sorry, before you explain it a little bit more, actually, no, you should explain it a little bit more. I don't know why I'm jumping on top of it. Go for it.
All right,
I'm trying to do a lot of things at once here.
Oh, no worries. All right, so it looks like this project, it's called Project Spartacus, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-tiered library of PlayStation games. So let's see, first tier will include PlayStation Plus benefits. Currently, these benefits include ability to play online multiplayer games, special discounts, and access to some free titles. The second tier will center around a large catalog of PS4 and PS5 games. And this is similar to PlayStation Now, which offers selection from free PS4 and PS5 games each month. And then the third tier, which I think has a lot of eyes opening, will offer a library of classic PlayStation titles from the PS1 to the PS3 and PSP. So no Vita support as of right now. Additionally, the third tier will also unlock access to extend demos and game streaming services. All right.
I hate the tiered plan. Hate it straight up. Microsoft's like, okay, you pay for it. Here you go. You get everything. All that's going to do is annoy people unless the tiers make sense. And the one tier has to be a lot cheaper than the other tier. It can't be like $12.99, $14.99. It's got to be a significant price break. Otherwise, people are just going to get mad. It's like, just sell us everything. Nobody's ever going to buy the cheaper tier if it's like that. It's kind of like the Netflix. You can get the HD upgrade, like the 4K, but how many people really pay for the 4K upgrade? Like, I don't. Like,
no reason to.
I just to me, a tiered subscription thing, it's annoying. I hate it.
Well, Nintendo opened the door, right?
Yeah, they did.
Tiers in there. And the thing that I wanted to mention that had come up, which would have made no sense if you hadn't explained it as well as you did, that they have come out and explicitly said they're not trying to compete with Game Pass with this. So new releases, AAA titles, they won't be there day and date in this subscription model. It's literally just for the stuff that you can get on the side.
Then what if it's just PlayStation Now with PS Plus?
Then this, if they're not doing that, then if they're not doing that, then this thing needs to be like $9.99. Like seriously, like, because the thing is, like, I mean, I know one would make the argument, all right, PlayStation's first person, first person IPs, just with their games, God of War, you got Horizon West, and then they'll just make the comparison like, what does Xbox have? Forza Horizon 5, Halo. Like, we got more, so I mean, they could try to make that argument, but I think if they're going to do that,
it's also coming down the line. Also, all the Bethesda stuff's on there now.
Yeah,
they're
giving you a lot of stuff for only $15 a month.
And remember, that's including live already.
Yeah, and that's including live, so you can play online with your friends too. You don't got to play anything additional for that. So
yeah, I think they're just looking to supplement a little bit.
This thing better be cheap as hell, otherwise they may get laughed out of the room like Nintendo did with their expansion crap with the N64. So it's like, Oh boy.
It's got to be. I feel like they should work on like making the service better before they try adding things to it. But that's a Sony thing to do, isn't it? Like instead of making
Mhm.
things better, they just try to add more to it, and that doesn't really solve the problem.
Yeah, but the companies we've been known that have been very well known for very refined, good quality products have been suffering of late as well. Like Nintendo would be the first one you'd say they're not releasing this until it's in really good state, and then it wasn't in a good state.
They
And
didn't even test it.
Rockstar, did the same thing. So,
Yep.
I mean, you can say that Microsoft's actually been pretty good with it. They pushed
Yeah,
back Halo. They pushed it back
yeah,
a
they
whole
did.
year.
Yeah, they did.
So
I mean, I'll give Microsoft the credit where credit's due. I mean,
people
And
I
they
are
ain't
not
mad at them
clearly,
at
happy with
all.
the multiplayer, though. I will say that.
Mhm.
yeah,
A lot of back and forth with that, and we'll get to that I think later, right?
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
they've
definitely.
clearly disrupted the market as well. Like everybody who's not willing to go as far as Microsoft has to dump entire game libraries and do full releases on a subscription are trying to creep as close as they can to keep their profit margins and keep everything the same, but still have a product they can sell that's kind of similar, just so they can say they've got one. I think that's probably all it's going to be at the end of the day.
Well, everybody has a gaming subscription pass. Apple
Mm.
Arcade, Google has one.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what that one's called. Google Games or whatever, Play Games. They have one.
Something like
Xbox
that.
has one. Nintendo has one, but it's only for old games. Sony's
Yeah.
had PS Now forever, and to be honest, I didn't even really know about it until I was like, "What is this? This is just cloud game." They don't really do a good job
Well, yeah, yeah,
advertising
yeah,
it.
yeah. They didn't because the thing is, like, more than 80% of the titles on PS Now can be downloaded. It was like all cloud in the beginning, but they slowly integrated the ability to download the games. I think like the only titles that may not be able to be downloadable are PS3. I could be wrong. I don't
I
know. I
think
don't really
so.
use the service that
I think
much.
I didn't really play that much on it. I really just used it to
Yeah,
play a very small handful of games, but
yeah, but
I didn't even
it's
really know what it was until they don't really advertise it at all. They don't do a great job
it.
explaining it, and Microsoft does do a really good job explaining what it does.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think that Sony does need a better tier system like for these games, and it's just like you're paying for this service here, and then the PlayStation Plus service here. It's like I do think they should be combined, but let's give everyone a fair price. I don't think it needs to be tiered like that, and especially if you're trying to put in classic games, just do what Microsoft is doing.
I-
Just like I said,
If
$15 a
if
month.
they yeah right, if they price themselves over Xbox, they've already lost.
Yeah, so it's like you better be giving us something more than just old ass games. Like if you're gonna be going that far, like especially if you're not giving us any new day one games. Like if we're not gonna have access to God of War Ragnarok, you're already shooting yourself in the foot. Like it better be $10 a month or something. Or
Sony's games are generally more single player experiences
Mhm.
compared to Microsoft's, which are predominantly multiplayer, and they can add in extra money. You don't get you get the base game with Game Pass. So if you wanted Forza Horizon and play the expansion pack, you still have to pay for the expansion packs.
Yeah,
Sony doesn't really have an online gaming thing that really lets them do that kind of thing. They don't they could bring back SOCOM, and I wouldn't be shocked to see a new SOCOM. That was like their biggest first party shooter for a long time. But they don't really have that microtransaction way of getting that extra money out of the people who get those games already.
yeah, yeah.
Xbox does.
All right. Well, that's definitely a good point. So we'll keep an eye on it. Right now, it's being called what is it? Project Spartacus. Yeah, Project
Spartacus.
Spartacus.
It's
So I
definitely not going
mean,
to be called Spartacus.
yeah, yeah, PlayStation Spartacus. Get it now, guys. I was like, that sounds like a video
They're
game
trying to
title.
tease the God of War fans, I think, a little bit.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's
yeah.
just, what are they going to
It's
call it?
tease.
You can't be that good of a service. It can't be that good of Sony Arcade or something stupid.
No, it's PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. It's obviously PlayStation Plow. Done.
All right. So let's talk some games now, guys, and we're gonna talk one of Mark's favorite games that he's dying to get his hands on, Farming Simulator 22. So yes, we're
Dying.
talking. Yeah.
Dying so much that I didn't even know. I thought it was a yearly thing with a name like Farming Simulator 22. You'd think it was yearly. It's not yearly. The last one came out 3 years ago. It was 19. I had no idea.
Well, I just had to say this because I saw this as an interesting fact, and I know you would have been hurt if I didn't put it on the podcast today, but it sold over 1.5 million units in its first week.
I don't even think there's 1.5 million farmers in America. Like,
well, maybe a lot of people want to farm.
Sales. I don't know.
Well, maybe a lot of people want to farm because I feel. I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think the game was going to make that much money either. But now it's got me kind of wanting to play it. Like, even though I don't like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never played a farm game before. But hey, maybe I got to put this on my list of backlog games. I'll try to play. The graphics look good. You see the animals, you see the cows. Did you ever play Harvest Moon back in the day?
Well, right now there are a couple. There are people playing right now on Twitch. 400, 250 viewers. There's probably like a good 1,000, maybe 1,500 total viewers watching people play Farming Simulator.
I think it's one of those games, though. It's one of those ones where you pick your favorite streamer, you enjoy how they deliver their content and all of the banter that happens between, and just watch them go and plow a field or something. I think it's going to be one of those that where all that value would be coming from, and it might drive sales a bit too. It's one of those things.
You know what they need? They don't have like a plow simulator, like when you had to clear the snow. Where's my plowing snowblower simulator? Damn it! I'm in the wrong industry. I shouldn't be doing podcasts. I should be making simulator games.
There was a snow ice trucking game, wasn't there? Isn't there a couple?
Well, I don't think you actually like cleared the snow though, did you?
Like off a highway? There really is a game like that?
Yeah, I think it's more about traversing really complex.
Yeah, I think it's just like ice truck driving kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Farming Simulator 2017 had a snow plowing part, but there's not a whole. Oh no! Wait, I found a game on Steam. Snow clearing driving simulator. Wow, it looks awful.
It looks awful. What's the ratings?
Oh, it's $1.99. It's $1.99, and it looks like it came out on PlayStation 1.
There's a simulator for everything. And I think probably actually the thing that's been driving a lot of simulator fame recently is gas station simulator. I think that's what it's called. Simulator.
Well, yeah, don't forget there's also, I think, a PC build simulator, right?
PC build
simulate building a gaming PC.
Yeah. It's been flying around for free, that one, for a little bit. It was free on Epic Games Store a little while ago.
Well,
and it's actually all right.
I like the king of simulator games, the granddaddy of them all. What was the original one?
The
Simulator
Sims?
City? Yeah, no, Sim City. That was
Sim City.
Yeah, I think that was the whole craze, right? Super Nintendo. I think it may have been on like the Amiga or one of those.
It was a PC thing, and then that was just the City, and then you've had the Sims.
The Sims game, then Roller Coaster Tycoon. Just
Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think was
fun though.
That was like
that was fun. Because I like that. I actually downloaded Roller Coaster Tycoon for the Switch. I haven't had a chance of playing it yet. Maybe I'll give it a try on one of my upcoming streams. We'll see, but. I had to point that out. 1.5 million units in its first week. So I think I don't think there are that many farmers. I'll agree with you with that. But maybe there are a lot of people who live in the city who want to be a farmer. I mean, like I asked earlier, did you ever play Harvest Moon back in the day for the Super Nintendo? Or?
Well, I did just download. Stardew Valley. So same thing.
Yeah, Stardew Valley. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, Harvest Moon. Yeah, I've been doing some SNES collecting. Maybe I'll try to see if I can get my hands on that one. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so I figured
the next big one, Snowplow Simulator.
Snowplow Simulator. All right, we'll be on the lookout for that
Put that
one.
up there.
Snowplow.
Put that up there.
Snowplow
People,
Simulator.
it's probably super satisfying in the same way of Pressure Washer Simulator.
Pressure Washer.
Power. What is it? What is that one called? Matt?
Power Wash Simulator.
Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, lawn mowing simulator is a thing. I don't know.
That's like the same thing though. Like lawn. But then again, you can mow a lawn in Farming Simulator too, right?
I don't know what it is. There has to be. There has to be something that gets
19.
the game
It's
right.
on Game Pass, by the way. 19 is on Game Pass.
For what? Farming Simulator or lawn?
Farming Simulator.
All right, I'll try 19. I'll try 19 on Game Pass, but yeah. Yeah, I got to give it a try to see what the whole craze is with this whole Farming Simulator, Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Bus and Train, I think, were the first two like big ones, and now we're getting more and more niche.
Yeah. All right. So staying on the topic of actual games for a while, Forza Horizon 5 are banning looks like their players are being banned for over 8,000 years. Now, I think 8,000 years is a little
not
hard.
Long enough.
Not long enough.
Not long enough, I say. Many lifetimes of banning. I think it's just like like don't mess with us. They, like I mentioned in the chat this week, they take their E for everyone rating super seriously. So if you put something in the game, like the images that you can put on your car that threatens that E for everyone rating, they're gonna come down on you hard.
Yep. And some of the liveries they've been putting on cars has been very suspect.
Yeah. Well, racing games should. Well, I mean, as fast as you can go on a racing game, it should be at least E10. I mean,
That's what really shocked me about it. Like, it's not E10 because you can do some real damage, not really to the car, but like just crashing,
jumping off
things.
a cliff, just jumping off a cliff. I mean, that's I wouldn't want to show that.
I just like any game with any semblance of violence gets E10, or I don't know what the equivalent would be in Australia, or PEGI 7 or whatever for the UK.
No, we're GPG M15 plus.
Oh, those are the ratings for your games.
Yeah, there's an equivalent though. There'd be an equivalent.
It's E10.
They split E. It used to be E for everyone and then T for teen, and then they kind of split it like E for everyone and then E10 plus.
Yeah, E10 plus. Well, back in the day, it was KA when they put out that K to A, which was 6 and up. Kids to adults. So that's what it originally was back in the day. And that was because of what was the rating system?
Mortal Kombat. When
they had
like the first
Mortal Kombat and what was that? Night Trap, which they recently put out, which they redid recently, but
which is an awful game. But
it wasn't very good. In FMV, well, Dana Plato from Different Strokes, was on there, so I know it had a little bit of popularity. But
you can customize these cars, and if you know how to do, I mean, it's hard enough doing it with the controller. I'm not sure. Probably easier with the keyboard and mouse. You can put anything on these cars in Forza. Like anything. I think I found one that had like some curse words in it, and I was driving it around for a while. I didn't make it. I just used it.
Yeah, well, I'd be careful with that now. I mean, you love Forza, so
I know. I probably should go. I don't. Yeah, the problem is that I have like 130 cars, and I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, you have to scroll through the big list.
Yeah. It's wow, 130 cars. Yeah, you must have put a lot of hours in this game already. How
deep
are you?
There's like 500 cars in there, so. How many? I don't know. I'm like 80, almost 90. I haven't played as much as I wanted to. My wife's over 100 already.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she plays a lot. She's driven all the roads. She's trying to get all the XP boards. Like, she's doing all like that collectathon stuff first.
Yeah, well, definitely, guys. So if you guys are listening, if you guys play Forza Horizon 5, keep it G or PG. Yeah.
Keep it appropriate. No anime girls on your car. Half naked anime girls on your car. Don't do that. It's not that game.
Don't do that. It's not GTA 5. Let's just
If your mother would look at the car and go, "Are you making a good life choice?" Maybe that's when you should rethink it.
Yeah. All right. All right. So let's see. Looks like PlayStation. Looks like there were rumors floating around about these games for a while, but PlayStation Plus has announced their lineup for the games coming out for the month of December. We go through these games. It's Godfall Challenger Edition, and that's going to be for PS5 and PS4. Lego DC Supervillains and Mortal Shell. I really want to play Lego DC Supervillains. That looks a lot of fun. I've been tempted to buy it a few times, but hey, since it's coming to PlayStation Plus, I'm just going to add it to my library and play it at my convenience.
I did not like it.
You didn't like it?
I really wanted. We play the Lego games a lot here. It's something that it's an easy co-op game. It's not too serious. I just didn't like supervillains. I really didn't. It was just something about the story and everything. It was just too much. I just didn't care for it. We played it and we stopped playing it. We went on to other different Lego games. We've gone back to other Lego games to play them again over playing something we haven't played before.
All right, so you're saying there are quite a bit of better Lego games out there than this one. Being the bad guys isn't fun for this.
It doesn't say that it wasn't fun. It's just like the way that it was, the narrative was, and that everything was designed. It's not as fun as like say Lego City Undercover, which is I think the best Lego game if you've ever played that.
All right, okay, makes sense. And then another one I thought was worth talking about, Godfall Challenger Edition. That's like not even the full game. That's like just the end game, right? I was a little
that's what I read. It's just like the end game or something. It like puts you like super leveled up, and like, what's the point?
Yeah, so I was a little like, why would they do that? Shouldn't they just give the full game, or do they want you to just go back and buy the game? I was a little weird about that.
I think that there's been a bit of uproar about that particularly, because they said they'd include it, and there's only like a little bit of it. There's not the entire game.
Yeah. So
the developer said it's not a trial.
It's not a trial.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
but that's a game that has tons built on it, right? It's been grown and grown and grown over time. It's just one of those things where they're trying to get a bit more money.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. So, looks like they have some VR titles available also. The Persistence, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Standard Edition, and Until You Fall. It looks like these will be available until January 3rd. So, if you got a PlayStation Plus account, definitely go add them to your library, play them till the wheels fall off. So, definitely just wanted to give you guys a update on that. All right, so we get into our main discussion for this week, which is our last minute predictions for the Game Awards. So, Mark, I know you weren't with us last week, but do you have any predictions for any of the categories that have been discussed?
Well, I think it would behoove us to say that we're doing kind of an internal competition to see who can predict them the best, right? Did we all agree that we were going to do something like that?
Yeah, well, I put it in the show notes. I mean, I filled mine out.
I still need to fill mine out, but I feel like we should get some bragging rights or something.
Well, I failed the final question, Matt. So sorry.
I will make predictions on just a couple categories.
All right, just do whatever categories you want. Just do whatever.
Right, just game of the year for me. I think It Takes Two is going to win it. It feels like it fits right into the kind of game that they like to award game of the year. It's got good gameplay, and it's got like a really deep story that makes you think. I believe what won last year? Was it Last of Us 2?
Yeah,
it just kind of fits in that. Yeah. It just kind of fits in that direction of where they like to announce it. Best multiplayer. I feel like it's also going to win best multiplayer because it is a multiplayer game.
It's the only way to play it, right?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, you don't have to play with somebody you know, but I'm sure it makes it a lot better.
Makes it a lot more fun.
Best Xbox game. If it doesn't go to Forza Horizon 5, they're crazy. Those are the ones. Those are the big three. I have to look at everything else here because I gotta go back and really look. Some of these games I don't know enough about to make a prediction of. Based on what I've read, though, like Inscription is probably going to win Best Independent Game.
Yeah, I've gone around.
I think we'll win.
I've seen so many articles on it recently. And it makes me want to get a PC to play it.
Oh, really? Is that right?
Yeah, it might. I don't have money for it, but I wish it would come out on something else.
It might. You never know.
Yeah, it kind of needs that mouse and keyboard aspect.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, it needs the mouse and keyboard. So they did make Civilization now on game consoles. So you never know.
But Inscription's a bit different. You kind of need to be able to click on everything.
You can plug a mouse and keyboard into the Xbox.
There you go. That'd be a good reason to bring it in. But just on the weekly Inscription update from me, that a lot of the media outlets seem to be collectively saying it should be voted best independent game or whatever.
It probably won't.
But it probably won't because not enough people have picked it up. But if they're all saying that, then obviously everybody's picked it up.
Right. Yeah. Not many of these other games I think are gonna people have heard about, and I've been reading articles on lots of different websites about it. The only competition I think is Death's Door, just for the simple fact that it's out on like everything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't see any of the other ones really winning that, and that's like the most interesting category.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
So definitely not 12 minutes.
Definitely 12 not 12 minutes. No, if 12 minutes win, I'm just gonna turn in my controller.
I got to tell you, I would be so happy if it did. I would laugh immediately. I don't think I'd be allowed to stream. I'd be hysterical.
I would hear the laugh from here. But you're gonna watch it just to see if it wins, aren't you now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll hang around for just independent game if I can.
Yeah. What time is it going to be showing your time, Matt? If it's coming on,
it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So what's that like? 9 a.m. your time?
It's 5 p.m. my time. It'd be.
Generally, I've tried to think about it by going back 5 hours and then forward one day. That tends to be how it works for me. So it might be early afternoon, but it's going to be in the middle of the workday anyway.
Well, what time is it now for you?
It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so you are 16 hours ahead.
Yeah. Wrap around the planet a couple of times and you've got it. That's why, audience, I look bleary-eyed and sound like I just woke up.
It's going to be on at noon your time.
There you go. So you'd be able to watch it. You might be able to sneak it in and watch it.
Might have to cancel a few meetings, but we'll see how we go.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I think I did have a work meeting rescheduled to this. Dang it. That always happens.
Yeah.
Just tell me that can't come sick.
Yeah. I want to
deal with a lot of Australian people. So, sometimes my time is always funky.
Yeah, well, me, like I said, I wanted to try to scoot off work early and get home and see it. Or, like I said, we'll give you guys an update through our Twitter account or social media if we will be streaming it. Hopefully, you can tune in, watch our comments, watch the premieres. That would be real fun. So definitely, we will see if we can do that. If not, then hopefully maybe next year. So, any more? Best of luck to all the games that have been nominated, all the actors, all the development companies. I'm
not going to give everything away. I'm not going to let you guys know how I'm leaning.
Well, that's the thing of putting an internal competition on it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess.
Hopefully, the rest of the Discord. Hopefully, the rest of the Discord has participated, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see who does what.
Yeah.
I know I filled mine out.
Most anticipated game. It's probably what I think is going to win is Zelda, but what should win is Ragnarok.
I think Ragnarok takes it, but I can't give it to Zelda if they don't even have a title behind it. But hey, who knows? Maybe it might be a world premiere. The game.
Right, it could be.
Yeah, they want to sneak that in.
Is that a new category?
They'll probably sneak it in.
Is that a new category?
I think it must be because I hadn't seen it before. Most anticipated game.
Let me see here. Most anticipated game last year was Elden Ring. So that's not going to win.
I don't think Elden Ring wins.
By the way, here's the most anticipated game, right? Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, sequel to Legend of Zelda, Starfield. Last year was Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Legend of Zelda, Halo, and Resident Evil.
Was Zelda really in there?
Yes.
Zelda was in there last, and
then it does not deserve to win. If they've been nominated for anticipated title last year and
you don't even have a name,
released the game name,
Elden Ring was the one who won last year.
I don't think Elden Ring wins. Because Elden Ring, it's coming out in February, right? So I think God of War takes
comes out what, March?
Yeah, March. So I think it takes it. God of War, I believe. So, but well, next episode we can talk about our games that we're looking forward to next year that are confirmed, unless they get pushed back.
And we can talk about who won too. Well, no,
yeah, that of course. All right, so the release rundown for this week. Pretty busy week for it being December. We got Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker for the PS5, PS4, PC, Mac, coming out December 7th. Also December 7th, Gang Beasts for Switch, Heavenly Bodies for the PS5, PS4, and PC, and then Life is Strange True Colors for the Switch. Spellforce 3 Reforce, it's coming out on everything. Well, yeah, everything but it looks like everything. But everything but Switch. December 7th. White Shadows for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, December 7th. Big one this week, Halo Infinite, and that's going to be for the
at
Xbox
least
Series.
the single player campaign. The multiplayer is already out.
Multiplayer is already out, but single player campaign, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, PC, December 8th. Loop Hero for the Switch coming out December 9th. Also December 9th, we got Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX for the Switch, PC, and iOS. And then Witchwood coming out for this one's everything. So Witchwood's coming out for everything December 9th.
I have not heard of almost any of these games.
Really?
Really?
Because Endwalker's a big one. Like even people.
Well, I mean, right. So Final Fantasy, obviously, but like these other ones here, like Loop Hero, I know it was nominated for Best Indie Game. I don't really know what it is. Witchwood, Heavenly Bodies, White Shadows. I don't really know what they are.
All right.
Loop Hero is actually really interesting. It came out very early this year, I think, because it kind of got largely forgotten. But it's about a little character traversing a board and placing cards in the environment to try and build out a space. And you have not random battles, but you fight things in it, and it's kind of turn-based combat as well. It's a little bit unusual. It's perhaps one of the more unusual, actually.
Well, this Heavenly Bodies game looks pretty unusual too. I don't know. Just never really heard of them. It's just a weird time to release games. December, right before Christmas.
December
I don't know.
Always, well, I mean, we'll probably see Halo Infinite for some nominations next year. So, I mean, since it did miss the cutoff, but you know,
and when I was like Final Fantasy 14, they're still making stuff for it. Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't even know they were making stuff.
It's still well. If you read the categories, it's nominated for best ongoing game. I think Fortnite takes that, but I mean, we'll see. But, so
I mean, how many years? How long has 14 been out? 2013.
Oh,
I don't know anybody that plays it. I think that's what it is. I just don't know anybody. I'm not in that world.
Me either. If it makes you feel any better.
I'm not an MMO player, so I don't know that world.
Yeah, I never really got into World of
Elder
Warcraft.
Scrolls is the other one that I hear about quite a lot.
Okay.
Elder Scrolls Online, but it's getting a bit of fanfare.
That one I've at least heard of. It's on Xbox, so you can't escape that one.
And then Life is Strange is already out, so I mean,
but coming out on Switch.
Yeah, Life is Strange. I know that. Yeah, I've been meaning to finish the first one. I still haven't finished the first one.
So definitely. I mean, it's kind of a weird time to be releasing games. I do agree with you there, Madness. But hey, if that's what developers want to do, get some last minute holiday gifts for your loved ones or friends out there. Go at it. All right. So, final part of the show. What are we playing final part of the show, favorite part of the show. What are we playing? Who wants to start?
Well, let me ask a question. What are we playing this upcoming week, or what did we play this past week?
What did we play this past week? And then what are we playing?
Yeah,
you could do both.
okay.
You could do both. We got
Well,
time.
I mean, I played, like I said, I played Lawn Mowing Simulator, and I'm not going to be playing Lawn Mowing Simulator anymore.
Yeah, I think we can presume that.
I just like it's not just like lawn mowing. You also have to get the weed whacker out. And I'm like, oh, I can't.
That's kind of where I lost it too.
It's hard to
You gotta get
tell
the
where
weed.
you mowed and where you haven't. It like you have to like stand
You think
still.
they make something like that easy, right?
Right,
I mean, in real life,
and
it's not now.
You have to like stand still and hold down. Or at least on Xbox, it's the right thumbstick in or R3 to see where you've mowed. But it's very hard to see exactly where you've missed.
I think,
and the mowers that you start out with are terrible.
That's the thing that gets me, though. I think, at least with Power Wash Simulator, you can see the experience and get the satisfaction from seeing a nice clean surface. They haven't done the grass all that well. It doesn't look like fresh cut grass. It looks like you're playing PUBG on like very low graphics so that you can see people hiding in the grass.
Right. Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference between, like, if you're just doing a straight line, you can tell the difference between that line that you just mowed and the line that you haven't mowed yet. But when you're trying to figure out the last couple percent of trying to complete the yard, of which you don't have to get 100%, by the way. Usually it's like 99.5% of the grass before you start completing it. It's really hard to figure out without stopping every 2 seconds to like highlight it and then trying to go back over it. It's easier to just, I mean, this sounds crazy. You take the weed whacker and you just start running around the yard, just trying to get all the grass that you may have missed. And you can sprint unlimited. There's unlimited sprint in the game, by the way. You never slow down.
Oh, okay, that's good.
But also Forza Horizon 5.
Also Forza Horizon, yeah.
Fair.
And I'll probably play Halo as well. I'll probably play the single player campaign. So that's my if you need to fall asleep, Lawn Mowing Simulator is your game. It will put you to sleep.
Are you gonna try out Farming Simulator 18?
I mean, if we talked about it, I probably should, right? I guess I should download it just to try it, and then we can be like, what the hell? We can both say, what the hell?
Yeah, definitely.
Or Mac can join too. He's got Game Pass, so it's not going to cost you any money to just give it a trial.
Yeah, Matt
is Farming Simulator on Game Pass?
Apparently,
it's on Xbox. Yeah, I don't know about PC, but it's on Xbox.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'll push it to my Xbox right now while we're talking.
Here we go. So we'll be talking about PlayStation Plow next week, as well as literal plowing.
I'm telling you, give me that Plow Simulator 2022. People would buy that game. If I knew how to program, I would do it.
Yeah, there's got to be something out there.
Yeah.
Like I said, there is. Go look at that game I was telling you about, and you tell me how it's not like a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah,
it's $1.99 on Steam. There you go.
I'm not doing that. I know what it is like already. I know that people are going to be like,
you're not doing it.
People running
snow looks so PlayStation 1. It's amazing.
I'm okay with that one. All right, Matt, what you been playing, man?
So I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire this week. It's been quite addicting, actually. I haven't found time for other things because of it. Not like real life things. I mean, other games, obviously. But yesterday I was getting prepared to come on this podcast and say, look, Deathloop, it seems like a really good game, but I'm just not into it. It seems to be resisting me at all points. And I'm just not, I don't think it'll be the game that I play and end up finishing this year. But yesterday I played for a couple of hours and all of a sudden the game just clicked for me. I don't know what it was, but I was playing it for maybe a couple of hours and now I can't wait to go back to it and try it again and keep going and going and going and doing loops and loops and loops. I didn't feel motivated to do it before, and now I do. So I think this week it's going to be a Deathloop week for me. And I really want to try and finish it before the Game Awards so that any discussions about if it wins means that I'm not going to get spoiled for anything and I can know what people are talking about. But yeah, Deathloop for me, I think. Oh, and Farming Simulator, obviously.
Yeah. All right. For me, I have been playing So I guess you guys probably figured this out. Since I got my gaming PC, I decided to, you know, dust off the old Xbox and just be like, all right, you know what, Forza Horizon 5. Mark talks about this every week. This is a great game. They're saying it should have been Game of the Year. Let me just give it a try. So paying the 99 cents for Game Pass right now. Downloaded it and it is amazing. Let me tell you, I got some of the cars you can actually buy now instead of have to wait for the spin wheel. So I got my Ford Cobra SVT 93, painted it black, rolling around in that thing like a true 90s OG gangster. No, I'm just kidding. But but just like some of the older cars I got, and then I'm just slowly going through the campaign right now. I'm just taking my sweet ass time with it, but it's a great game. Definitely much more better improvements than the fourth one, I think. So that's been I've
You
been
know what it
playing that.
is? It's better driving around Mexico than it is driving around England.
Yeah,
There's
I
more
agree.
of a variety in environments, and I think that's no slight on England, but when the environments just seem much more exotic than England.
Yeah,
Was there
Australia
any
was
countryside?
3 was Australia.
Yeah, Australia, obviously awesome. But
of course.
England, was the English one based in cities for the most part, or did it have countryside as well?
It has countryside
Yeah,
too,
it's
but like
countryside.
Mexico's got like a volcano. It's got 2 different like a beach area, 2 different like beach areas. Really, just a lot more. It just feels more exotic than the UK.
Well,
Okay.
I know like the
No,
off
no
dirt
offense
racing
to
makes more
UK
sense.
listeners and to our fellow UK podcaster Celine, but it's way more fun driving around Mexico.
I think that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, and then just like the whole driving mechanics in general. I mean, I know I played PlayStation for years, but I think Forza Horizon it has to be like the best racing game I've ever played. Like in terms of just like because you get that feel between arcade and simulation. I feel it's not too fast, but at the same time, it's not like too real life either. If you know what I mean. So I
But
mean,
it's
I
also got if you like dirt racing games, you could do
mhm.
dirt racing
Yeah,
tracks,
you can do dirt
street
racing,
racing,
street
cross
racing,
country. It's
cross
got
country.
all
One of
of
my
it in
favorites.
one
Yeah,
game.
yeah, you
The
can't
one
really
thing
go
that
wrong with it.
the one thing I've seen that doesn't really seem to fit somehow is the supercars, where you go like 260 miles an hour. I was watching a stream of someone driving a souped up Porsche, and it looked somewhat ridiculous. I couldn't help
It
but
is
laugh a little
ridiculous.
bit.
It
It
kind of
it is
is.
ridiculous, and the thing that you don't do too much actual racing in them. You use them for the jumps
No.
that you have to get like a
Yeah,
crazy
just the
distance on.
jumps. Yeah. You
But
don't
like
really
driving
race
a
in those
car
things.
a quarter of a mile in the air, you know. I
Yeah,
think the record I have is 22 or 2,300 feet.
I haven't gotten that far into the game, but I'll let you know what I get. Well, you'll probably see it because since I followed you guys now on the Xbox Microsoft, account or whatever, it's showing
Oh
me
yeah,
what you guys have been doing.
every time I see your driver car, I give you a little tap
Oh yeah.
in the race. I'm like, get out of my way.
oh, is that what you mean? Like actually bumping the car? I
Yeah,
thought
a
there was a
little,
social
rubbing,
system
a
in there or
little
something.
rubbing. Have you ever seen Days
Yeah.
of Thunder?
No,
You know,
Yeah, and then also
but I haven't
aside from
seen
that,
I haven't seen Mad Max either, so I need
Mad
to
Max.
get on that. I think
that's like I
Yeah.
thought it was like a rite of passage if you lived in Australia.
not if you don't like Mel Gibson.
No,
I mean, he doesn't say anything in it, but he's not one of our homegrown greats anymore.
so you've kicked him
Anymore.
out.
Not
Yeah,
even
for
there.
So
sure.
you've seen all the Thor movies, right? Like that's a requirement.
Well, Hemsworths are actually from New Zealand, I think. I'm not sure
I
we can
thought they
take
were from
ownership of that.
Australia. Yeah, we
They
all lump you
definitely,
in the same boat. In America, we kind of just lump you guys together.
yeah,
A little
well,
You're
bit,
I'd say
you're
yeah.
that's fair.
you're the big island out there in the middle of nowhere. You know.
Yeah, but New Zealand is
A,
the other little island that's even more out of nowhere.
a big a
Actually, it's
big
closer
island
to
that's
us.
a big island that's a country and a continent. So that's very interesting.
There's a good
So
argument to be had there. I don't know,
Well, we don't
but
we
we don't.
don't really refer to it as Australia, the continent anymore. It's Oceania is the
Ocean,
continent.
There's Oceania, but people say
Oceania, whatever.
Australasia as well.
Australasia. Yep.
Australasia. Hmm.
Ask anyone here.
How far
Nobody
is
knows.
New Zealand from Australia? I don't even know. That's how bad I am in geography.
I think it's about a 3-hour flight.
3 hour
flight from
That's
Melbourne.
pretty far. That's pretty far.
Yeah, it's not a boat ride. It's it's
I
enough.
thought it was a lot closer. What do I know? 3-hour flight for me is Florida.
Yeah.
Well, that was like 6 hours for me when I went to Florida.
If you live on the West Coast. If you wanted to go coast to coast in Australia, how long would that take you?
I think, look, to be honest, half the time is spent in the airport anyway, but I think it'd probably be 2.5, 3 hours probably. It's not far.
Airtime. Okay.
Well, see, that's not
long.
Like if I flew out to Tutol, it's 6 hours, probably.
Yeah, 6 hours. Yeah, probably be about that, like 6, 7 hours. That'd be a nonstop. But realistically, if you want to save on flight, you got to get a connection somewhere else and
That's
go
the
through
thing I
all
don't
that.
envy about America. Like every story I hear is about layovers and trying to
Layovers
save a bit of
suck.
money, so stopping 3 or 4 times in different states just to get there for
Make a game.
money.
Where's the layover simulator? 2020.
Didn't they already do that?
Waiting for your flight. Don't miss your flight. All right, what are you gonna do? You're sitting in the airport. Play your
and you gotta wait in real time. It's simulator, so you gotta wait in real time.
That sounds like a really
airport
good
bar.
Game, but I don't. People wouldn't want to. They would hate themselves playing it. That's the only thing. But they would love hating themselves.
You gotta find an outlet for your phone that's about to die.
Yeah. Or you got to line up to talk at the ticket counter because you want an upgrade, and they announce that all the upgrades are gone.
Yeah, and they're just drinking in the bar, eating your food.
Just turn all the most mundane of tasks into simulator games. People will buy them. People want to buy. They want to be farmers.
Yeah. And then speaking of games, the other game I've been playing, Mario Party Superstars. I was actually playing some of the online with two young ladies who recently just joined our Discord. Shout out to Chris and Rachel of Double Jump. Hopefully we can get them on the podcast pretty soon. But yeah, I was playing Mario Party Superstars with them this morning before I started the podcast here. And the Nintendo Switch Online, they have a lot of work to do because it was just
Nintendo doesn't care. If they could not have online, they would. They just really don't care. Where are they located?
They are not very far from you. They're in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, so they're at least in the States. That's just there's no excuse for that.
No. Yeah, so yeah, that was it was a little rough. It was fun, even though I got last place, but yeah, just the laggy was But yeah, shout out to them. Definitely we'll do it again. I mean, hopefully we can get them on the podcast sometime within the next month or so. So that was cool.
We need to get a Jackbox game going with everybody. I think that's what we need to get to.
And then this week I want to get this thing off the package, but I've been just having so much fun with the Forza 5, and then
what is this thing for our audio listeners?
Oh yeah, it was the game I just held up was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you for reminding me, Matt. But yeah, I keep forgetting that we still have listeners out there, not just viewers.
They're everywhere. They are everywhere.
Yeah, they are everywhere. All right. So hopefully I can get that out of this package this week and start playing that.
I'm in the same boat. Like I bought Call of Duty Vanguard, and then when they were like, "Oh, Halo's going to come out," I'm like, "Well, do I really want to open this now? Like it's still sealed."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Just that's how games get on your backlog. But the reason why I bought it was because
I might return it. I don't know.
I bought it because I bought Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy because it was on sale for Black Friday. I didn't want to drop $60 on it, and
right. I bought Call of Duty was part of buy two get one.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So like maybe I could get a different game or another Christmas present for the kid.
Did they? They did it in Australia. I'm not sure if they do it anywhere else, but there seem to be very exclusive returns deals at like EB Games for us and some of the big retailers where if you returned it within 2 weeks or something, you get a larger price back than if you returned it after that. Was there something like that?
Has done that. Like they guarantee something for a while there. They were doing. We guarantee you love this game, where you would get the full amount minus tax back in store credit. But a lot of times, if you trade it in within the first 30 days,
they'll give you a big
sometimes
credit.
they give you like 30. It was 30, but now the games are 70. I'm not sure if it's changed. But still, you're better off selling it. You're better off selling it or waiting for a promo that if they have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
They're very hard up for games right now, though. I will tell you that because I traded in a bunch of stuff and I got way more than I thought I would.
Well, they probably have been trading in less because of everyone being at home, having a lot more time to play games, maybe, and perhaps not wanting to return stuff and seeing the value of having old games and retaining them.
Yeah, people have been holding on to things. I've always traded my stuff in because I don't really go back. I'm not a collector.
I'm a bit of a
I don't really like
collector,
the whole
so
stuff. Yeah, I did that with DVDs. I used to collect DVDs, and I put that just turned me. It made me real. I can't do that no more. I had like 1,300 DVDs at one point. I had a lot of DVDs.
Yeah,
I used to work in a video store, and GameStop used to sell DVDs, and it was like this.
Yeah, they did.
It was like so easy to just buy. Okay, yeah, just buy a DVD. I ended up with so many, and they just nobody. Everything's streaming now. It's just
streaming what I've been doing. Yeah, what my wife and I have been doing with our old DVDs or Blu-rays is we just been converting them to Voodoo, if you've heard of that. And then just selling the rest of them to like some local shop for anyone who does want to collect them. And then if they can't take them because of condition, we've just been throwing them away. So that's what we've been doing there. But we still have like a little bit left to convert. Hopefully we should have it all converted by the end of the year. So,
like
just get that
I worked
out.
at GameStop for 10 years. So I always was just in and out, like rotating games through there. Never really much of a collector, but yeah, I could see, people haven't really been trading stuff in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the easiest way to get quick money and get a new game. That's why I don't really like buying digital. I like being able to sell my games.
Yeah. That's the other argument behind just buying digital. You can, if you have the game, you can do what you want with it, and it's in your possession. If you don't want it anymore, you can go trade it in if you think it sucks or something. Whereas if you download it digitally, you're pretty much just stuck with it.
Right. If you hate it, you're screwed.
There's been a few ideas thrown around about the idea of having a software market that isn't like G2A games, nothing dodgy with CD keys and stuff. But look, it's an entertaining possibility. I don't think they'll actually do it though. It'd be a weird one.
I passed on a lot of games and I waited for actual discs for a long time. So like Shovel Knight, I waited for an Xbox disc and they announced it and then they canceled it. I was really annoyed about that. But I ended up buying it digitally because I just couldn't help myself. But I do love the game, and they did have free, they kept adding stuff to it if you had bought it before a certain point. But I still like having the disc because I want to be able to trade it in when I'm done with it.
Yeah, man, as you should. But I mean, so
that's a whole roundtable discussion.
Yeah, that's a whole I guess we did a pre-roundtable here, guys. But I mean, but definitely. So with that being said, we discussed what we're playing. So this is going to put episode 66 in the books. Episode 67, if you guys are imagining, we will pretty much be talking about what went on at the Game Awards for the most part. So definitely tune in to that
Probably
episode.
Lots of new stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. So tune in next week for a great episode of the Game & Watch podcast for episode 66, putting it in the books. For Mark, a.k.a. Mr. Madness, and Matthew Bliss, this is Justin Reed, a.k.a. Too Tall for You Fool, saying so long and bye, and enjoy the rest of your day. Later.
See you, team.